a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open your shop so the world can see. You're a beautiful pearl. Live your day like you mean it. And don't forget who you are. You're free to go anywhere. There's no distance too far. And I just can't get enough of your energy. I just can't get enough. You're the spark shining in the dark, and I just can't get enough. Oh, 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 contagious to hide. Live your prints in the sands of tomorrow. Wash your past with the tide. And I just can't get enough of your energy. I just can't get enough. You're the light in the middle of the night, and I just can't get enough. Oh, 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 oh.
For their ongoing support of PromoHomo.TV, I would like to thank DAP Health. One of their value statements, we welcome all people, period. I'm a grateful client of DAP and have been for over 10 years. A big shout out to EIGHT4NINE Restaurant and Lounge, including John Pascal and Willie Ryan, longtime supporters of PromoHomo.TV. I want to give a big shout out to the #ILoveGay campaign for helping to expand PromoHomo.TV across the Twitterverse, and to local media partners KGay 1065 Palm Springs and their sister companies, the #ILoveGay Palm Springs podcast and GayDesertGuide.lgbt. I'm a proud media sponsor of Palm Springs Pride. Check them out year-round at pspride.org. And I'm proud to shine a media spotlight on the LGBTQ Community Center of the Desert. Their mission statement, creating vibrant community by helping LGBTQ people along their way. Find them at thecentercv.org.
Yes, over 6 feet of snow has hit your screen. I am Nicholas Snow, the Promo Homo, and I am coming to you live from EIGHT4NINE Restaurant and Lounge on Saturday, April 24th, 2022, to honor the PromoHomo.TV superstars, which are people, and I have a studio audience here. This is the first time I've had this many people assembled for an actual broadcast of PromoHomo.TV, and I couldn't be more delighted. And this also happens to be a celebration of my 60th birthday, which is actually tomorrow. Tomorrow is the big day, but we're celebrating today. So I've been promoting this event for months because I wanted to use the opportunity. You know, for many years, I've had people come up to me and they've said, thank you for all you do for the community. I don't do it for gratitude, and I don't actually do it for patrons. But I do it because I want to make a difference with my life. and I was taught how to live my life more fully because of people I met in the early 1980s who were living and with and dying of AIDS. And they forever changed the trajectory of how I would go on to live and the decisions that I would make. And I've had a very different life because of it. And thankfully, we've had lots of strides in the fight against HIV and AIDS, but there's still so much work that needs to be done around LGBTQI plus equality. And one of the things that I personally more aware of than ever before is the oppression of so many different people because of their various intersectionalities. You know, I grew up as a cis white male. At some point, I decided to surrender my own heterosexual privilege by coming out of the closet. But there are many people, you know, a black person is still black when they step off the parade route, and the fight is very different for them than it is for me. And I've learned a lot about these issues, and these are some of the issues that I promote in the platform. I didn't want to forget to thank all of my superstars and sponsors. So they've all been thanked before the show. You've seen their photos. They're here today. And they already know that they're going to have the opportunity to opt in and be interviewed if they want to. But I'm not going to make anyone be on camera, unlike how I am when I go to events and I just walk up to you without any notice and start talking to you. People have known to avoid me when they don't want to be on camera. Now, there are some superstars that could not be with us because they're from outside the area. And I gave everyone the opportunity to send remarks. And I want to share some of the remarks from some of the superstars that could not be here, but who are perhaps watching. So Aaron Terry is a wonderful person who lives in the DC area. And he says, I want to say thank you to the higher powers for allowing me to connect with you at a time in my life where I was in a dismal place with the COVID-19 pandemic, LGBTQIAPK, US veteran, aging solo, etc. But after connecting with you and your PromoHomoTV, my life has found lots of bright lights and positive chi from your connections. Also, have a happy birthday 2022, and may you continue to touch lives and inspire them through your programs. Namaste. Rock May says, he's in Fargo, North Dakota. He says, to my beautiful soul and friend, Nicholas Snow, I've not known you long, but soon realized that you are a pillar of strength, as well as possessing the self-awareness of humanity we should all strive for. You are vulnerable and strong, all wrapped up into one, and I'm proud that we met in this period of life we are in. Your existence is needed, and I'm glad to hear and read your stories of evolution. Keep being just like your name entails, Snow. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, Rock, but I always like to say over 6 feet of snow has hit Palm Springs. Everyone is unique, but it takes many to build something with a collective foundation. Kelly Marie Marino, I'm sorry, Kelly, I'm not remembering what city you're in, but she says, I can't wait to join the party via my computer. Honestly, my only shout out would be to you for creating such a wonderful program and everything that you do for the community. I'm honored to have you as a friend. You make the world more beautiful. And Wyatt O'Brien Evans, who is also a wonderful journalist doing important work. You can find him by searching Wyatt on air. He says, happy 60th B-Day and happy PromoHomoTV superstar. Thank you, Partey. Nicholas, I'm so proud to be a patron of PromoHomoTV because you continue to do such critical and needed work for our community. And you do it in high style and in such an entertaining way. You truly are connecting the circuitry of humanity by creating programming for LGBTQ everyone. So for the superstars that aren't here and all the superstars here, give yourselves a round of applause. And thank you so much for being here. So I want to introduce my co-host for this broadcast. Come on up, Dave Perry. So this microphone is now, you're in control of it, and I need to be mic'd with that while you're talking as well.
So can I be heard or no?
You can, yes.
I can be heard. How
Yes.
exciting. Hi.
You can be heard there. Yeah, we have to both be on both mics at the same time.
I got it. Well, thank you for allowing me to be your co-host for your official entry into middle age, because, you know, the fastest growing generation are people over 100. So at age 60, that means you're middle-aged. I mean, you know, you're going to be 120.
Well, okay, if you say so. So I'm going to let you hold these. Thank you. So I'm going to turn this show over to Dave, and anyone at the party who wants to be interviewed is going to come up to him. But while I looked up something, why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about what you do in media, and also I want you to plug your book.
Well, thank you for the shameless plug, but I'm going to plug Nicholas. So we've got a great crowd here. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would love to join me. Please give a round of applause for Nicholas Snow. You know, the only plug I want to give is for Nicholas. I have been in public relations and media for a long time. My husband, Alfredo Casuso, who's the really smart one in the relationship, and I have known Nicholas for a long time. And there are a lot of people who say that they are, quote unquote, part of media and who work with the community. And there are a lot of people who promote themselves. But Nicholas is one of those true people who is self-effacing, modest, and a true professional. He has done more for the community in his 60 years than many people could in twice that time. So this is all about Nicholas's 60th birthday. It's all about his community efforts. And I know throughout the evening, people are going to come over here to the table and join me to tell their Nicholas Snow stories. And of course, this is online, so we'll keep it clean and family. So the other stuff, you know, you can keep for Instagram. But we want you to tell your stories about Nicholas, because Palm Springs is the capital in many senses of the Southern California LGBTQ community. Palm Springs has been known as a safe place for the LGBT community for many decades, and one of the reasons are shows like the ones that Nicholas produces and personalities like Nicholas. So tonight is all about Nicholas, wishing him a happy last day of his 59th year into 60 tomorrow.
Thank you so much for that. Before I turn it over, by the way, I want all of you to continue to party, come up, get drinks. The party continues, and I'm going to be the host, which is why I'm letting someone else do the show, which I very rarely do. So, but I want to thank late-breaking new subscribers to PromoHomo.TV that didn't make the reel at the top of the show. Chris Christensen, who I've known since 1988. Atma Wiseman and Joyce Silver, who I've known for quite some time, but we have mutual connections that span decades. And I might be forgetting someone, but I will mention their name later because I think I might be forgetting someone. Okay, so I'm going to give you this microphone. Whoever wants to be interviewed, you can step right up. But first, I'm going to turn on a scroll on the bottom of the screen. And at the end of the broadcast, before we end, I will go through the comments that you've made when watching live and try to put them on the screen.
This is a high-tech production, Nicholas.
Okay, so we are now broadcasting live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Take it away.
So ahoy, everyone. This is David Eugene Perry. I am here at the official Nicholas Snow 60th birthday party. And Nicholas, besides being a good friend and a dear colleague, is someone who's done a great deal for the LGBT community. So if you have any Nicholas Snow stories, please come up now and tell me. Is anyone here who would like to tell me a Nicholas Snow story?
Hello. Hi, I'm Cliff Tatum. I was Mr. Palm Trees Leather back in 2015. And so
How did I miss that picture?
I don't know. But Nicholas Snow reached out to me and did a interview with me for his podcast, which was a little scary because I had never been interviewed like that before. Then our relationship grew. I was always there whenever he needed me, and I was there, and he was there for whenever I needed him for our events to support me and my fundraising efforts, because I did a lot of fundraising for LGBT youth. But a little story was, when we had Mr. Palm Springs Leather Contest last year, Nicholas said, "Hey, can I come to the contest and broadcast?" Well, I said, "Sure, Nicholas, that'd be great." He happened to show up during the jockstrap portion. He gave a nice intro to his audience on the outside in the lobby and took the camera and the mic inside and said, I'm sorry, audience. I will not be able to continue the broadcast.
Yeah, family show, family show. Yeah.
Family show. So he decided to make a quick U-turn, go back into the lobby, and kind of discuss Palm Springs leather further without any kind of visuals.
Yeah. Well, no, but I'm sure that somewhere there are pictures of you as Mr. Palm Springs Leather in your Altogether, in the Altogether. And so, inquiring minds want to know, where can we find that? On what? Yourfans.com?
No. If you Google Mr. Palm Springs Leather, you'll find some interesting photos.
I bet. Interesting photos. That's the passwords, people. So, the username is Nicholas Snow 60th. Password, interesting photos. Anything else you'd like to say about just, Nicholas in specific, but how important is community, Palm Springs? I originally came to San Francisco, California in 1986. Found and built community there, found my husband there, built my business. But now Palm Springs is home. And there is a vivid, philanthropic, generous community here in Palm Springs for the LGBTQ plus community. Tell me a little bit about how you came here and why Palm Springs and the whole Coachella Valley is special.
When at the time I was retiring back in 2007, I looked at the world and said, okay, San Francisco, West Hollywood, Palm Springs. And I looked at the cultures of the three and I said, okay, who am I trying to fool? Palm Springs will be home. And when I got here, I didn't know a soul. But what I did do is I found the clubs and the organizations that meant a lot to me. And when I joined them, I met people who meant a lot to me. And from there, I blossomed. And I recommend that to everyone. Don't come to Palm Springs looking to find immediate friends. Come to Palm Springs and look for the things you enjoy. And the friendships will grow from there.
Right, because people say that Palm Springs is a quote-unquote retirement community, a resort community. No, Palm Springs is a community. There's a vibrant community here, and the LGBT community is a huge part of it.
Oh yeah, it's tremendous, and you get so used to it that when you leave the area and you see all these children running around with their moms and dads, you're going, "Oh, I forgot I left Palm Springs." So, it's a whole world in a bubble. Once you come down the 10 and cross the mountains, it's kind of like in the land of Oz.
Yeah.
And you see the green of the Emerald City. It's kind of like coming home to Palm Springs.
Yeah, we don't have the Emerald City here, but when you come and you see those windmills spinning, you're home.
Exactly.
Any closing thoughts about Nicholas? Or Nick? Now, Nicholas said he wasn't going to butt in, but he's photobombing my interview.
Exactly. He doesn't trust either one of us.
There's a rumor there might be a cake interlude any minute, so we're just going to we're going to stop it when that happens to sing.
Oh, so this is what we have to vamp. So we're going to keep vamping.
No. We can move on to the next interview. Thank you.
Oh.
And
that was his way of breaking our conversation.
I got it. It's called insecurity.
I'm gonna go Google Mr. Palm Springs and other.
Yeah, and we're going to find those fans only pictures. Yeah. Any closing thoughts?
No, just happy birthday, Nicholas Snow. Love you like a brother.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Nicholas Snow. And I believe here we have a candidate for... Oh, wait, we got someone else. It's Jennifer Lopez. Oh, my God. It's J-Lo. You didn't tell me you were coming. No, you're much prettier than J-Lo. Tell me your name and how you know Nicholas.
I'm Coach Lynn, and it's a very funny story. I met him...
Sorry, it's the birthday.
Oh, no, now we have the birthday cake. Hold on. On camera.
I'm not going to try to blow that out. Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Before I let you go, Willie, I want you to step up too, because you deserve a lot of accolades as well. And Lynn, we're going to come back to you, but step right up and talk to Willie. And I just want to say to everyone here, though, that Willie Ryan and John Pascal have been my friends and my family. I had the opportunity to work here for 4 years, and we continue to collaborate on the road of happy destiny. And it's a beautiful experience, and I love you so much.
Thank you.
So I'm going to let you two talk to each other there, and then we'll bring Lynn back.
So Willie Ryan, Palm Springs' most generous and most beloved restaurateur, you and John have done a lot for the community. Tell me something about Nicholas Snow we don't already know.
He's a wonderful, generous man. You know that already. He's a great personality. Nicholas Snow and I ran into each other several times in Bangkok, Thailand. So I've seen him while he was here previously. I saw him in Thailand. I saw him when he came back to the States. He's a great guy.
So, Palm Springs has a reputation for being a welcoming city, a place that in the desert has become rainbow hued. It's hard to overestimate the importance of people like Nicholas Snow, people like yourself that have built a community of acceptance and celebration of the LGBTQ plus community. How important are people like Nicholas in the media who spread the word of love and celebration and acceptance that you're a part of? How important is it to get this word out there?
It's extremely important. And again, as you said, Nicholas has done a tremendous job at that. And we need more people to do that on a regular basis. There's still a lot of hate out there. The transgender community is suffering greatly. I've got goosebumps. It shocks me. It makes me sad. So we have to continue to teach people that love is love and we're all humans. And the fact that we still have to do that today is kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, Willie is too modest and too kind. We're here at 849, which is an incredible place. My husband, Alfredo, I've been here many times. But there are other places that you can show Willie and his wonderful food and his wonderful celebratory celebration of everything that is Palm Springs. You can go to 1501 Gastropub. You can go to Willie's, which I love. I haven't been there yet, but we're going to be there soon. Is there a fourth Willie Ryan restaurant in the works?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. That's like saying there's no plans on my desk. I think there's going to be more of Willie.
You never know.
Anything in closing you'd like to say about Nicholas and his birthday?
I just want to say it's wonderful that Nicholas chose to celebrate his special day here. It has been a joy to know him for many years, well over a decade. He's a wonderful guy. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Willie.
Thank you.
So next up, we're going to speak to someone who would put Jennifer Lopez to shame. Welcome back. You are working this turquoise dress, and it is not turquoise. It is turquoise. Turquoise. So tell me again your name and how you have come to know the wonderful Nicholas Snow.
I'm Coach Lynn from the Coach Lynn Show on ABC News Radio. And we met in a funny way. And I'm telling you this and telling you who I am because it was so funny. My girl.
Don't worry, no one else is listening. It's okay. Go ahead. It's all just between us.
My husband's over there. No. No, but a girlfriend of mine who has been an actress in a lot of movies with Nicholas said, come with me. You have to do this movie called Old Dads in Palm Springs. I'm not an actress. And so I said, okay, I'll go if you're going to go. So we go, and Nicholas and I, for some reason, got pushed to the side. And we thought, oh, my God, we're going to sit here for 12 hours. They're never even going to call us.
Yeah, we've been cut, and we weren't even on the cutting room floor, and we've been cut. I mean, sad.
So we waited and waited, and then they called him in, and he came back and said, they used me to block this machine. I'm like, what? Like, I don't even think they got my face. And then we started laughing. I'm like, well, at least you got seen at all. Then they called me in at the last scene after 12 hours. So during those 12 hours, I got to talk to him. And he's a beautiful human being. And everything that he stands for is something that's so important to me that I knew that I have to do anything I can to sponsor, to do whatever, to support him, because our country is divided enough. And it's about time that we stop that and that we start having these conversations and learning more about each other. And that's what he stands for. So as far as I'm concerned, he's a beautiful soul that just dropped on my lap.
We totally agree. And here's the Nicholas Snow dropping on all our laps digitally. I mean, Nicholas Snow and his work is so important, not only to the LGBT community, but as you were saying, to everyone. This is about creating dialogue across so many communities, so many dialogues.
That's a very good point. And what I've found is that a lot of people say, oh, yeah, I'm this, I'm that. But when it really comes down to it, they never have those conversations. And they never talk with people who are outside of their immediate circle. And they never find out anything except from a sound clip that's really inaccurate. And so I think what he's doing is incredibly important. And whether you're LGBTQ or not, whether you have kids who are, or you know someone who is, or if you don't know even what it stands for, it's important to be a part of something this important. It's historical. So yes, I support him.
So here we are. Happy birthday, Nicholas, and to LGBTQ plus, because it's all plus, it's all positive, it's all good. So today we're celebrating Nicholas and his ongoing legacy, and we got a lot of other people that are going to come on to talk to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. There you go. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a true Palm Springs legend, the person that makes Palm Springs Pride proud, brings thousands, tens of thousands of people here, and a candidate for Palm Springs City Council. Welcome, Ron DeHart.
That's District 3. Now, how are we on camera? Why does it look like you got a better spot?
No,
than I do?
no, come on. Come on. You know, you're working my one and only last gay nerve. We're both on camera here.
This is good. Welcome.
So tell me how you got to know Nicholas and why celebrating his digital media legacy is so important to our community.
You know, I think from day one with Palm Springs Pride, Nicholas reached out and said, how could I help? How could we help get the word out, share with the community what's going on? And since, so for 12 years now that I've been involved with Pride locally, Nicholas has always helped carry the message of Pride in Palm Springs around the world. And nothing is more evident of that than when we raised the rainbow flag at City Hall on a 90-ton crane, and Nicholas was able to film that and cover that. And people around the world were able to watch this flag raising at City Hall in a way that in many cities across the country and around the world would never see or could even imagine happening. And being able to bring what happens in Palm Springs to the living rooms of folks around the world is it's priceless. And we owe that all to Nicholas Snow, and I appreciate everything he does for the community and Palm Springs Pride.
You know, and we really have to be grateful for the desert climate, because the rest of the world seems to always celebrate Pride in June. And June on the streets of Palm Springs ain't the best time to march on a float. So ours is November.
We've learned our lesson. No longer in May and June, we're in November. First weekend in November. Yes.
So in 2022, in our closing moments, what do we have planned for what? Well, I don't know about you, but I think we got a lot of variants that we're glad to be behind. This might be the biggest Palm Springs Pride ever.
I think we'll have around 200,000 people in town, and I think they'll certainly come now that they know you're going to be on a float in your little bikini.
My bikini days are over, yeah.
With Nicholas. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ron. Next up, the parade of fans of Nicholas Snow continue. So welcome to the show. What is your name and how do you know Nicholas?
My name is Damian Comet, and I've known Nicholas for well over 20 years. And my thing to the Nicholas Force, is Nicholas's book, Life Positive. I've been HIV for almost 40 years, and being a public figure for most of those years, I had it on the back burner. I didn't talk about it. So my thing for HIV and AIDS was I would do fundraisers. And if I gave 5,000 here and I raised 10,000 here and I did a fundraiser here, then I felt like I was doing my part. But to discuss it with you and how it was affecting me, we don't do that. So Nicholas wrote a book called Life Positive. I hope I have the title right. And even after knowing him, I read the book, I sat and I cried and I cried and I cried. I read the book again. I cried some more. And because of Nicholas having the, can we just say, guts to come forth with his story, he gave me the courage to come out in print and in the media with my own story.
Right. You know, and having moved to San Francisco in 1986 during the depths of the AIDS HIV years, having done a lot of work with the Names Project AIDS Memorial Quilt. I remember at the time I was writing for The Advocate, did 3 marches to Washington. It was hard to, quote unquote, come out as someone living with AIDS and HIV. How important was Nicholas's coming out and writing his book to you personally, but also to the greater community of people living with AIDS, HIV?
to me personally, it was life-changing. You know, we often say we're only as sick as our secrets. And when we hold secrets and we stay in the closet, whatever that closet contains, then there's not the wholeness of us coming out. You cannot be real as long as you're having secrets. And we meet people in our lives, and there's something that kind of goes like this, that we're not sure what it is, but we stand back from them because there's not a realness there. When you have secrets, that's what's holding you back from engaging with people. So for me personally, it was like taking the chains off, right? Taking the shackles off. Now, on a global, on a local level, the more people can come out about the HIV, which is not a death sentence, which is not a shame, which is not a stigma of some kind of black cloud over you. It is a fact of life that you're living with, and the truth of how you manage it and how you're honest about it and how you share with people. Somebody comes up to you and they say, you know, I just found out that I have HIV. Oh, well, let's take you to this. Let's educate you on this. Nicholas has actually singularly been a main cause of education to happen in the HIV and AIDS stuff.
Yeah, you know, I believe, and I'm probably going to misquote this, but I believe it was Margaret Mead once who said, you know, when asked, they say, can one person committed change the world? And her answer was, that's the only way it ever has been changed. So in a very real way, Nicholas Snow has changed the world for those living with HIV and those people who may yet find they have HIV. He's a true community hero. Any closing words about Nicholas and his importance to the community?
He's 6 foot of love.
There you go. Hashtag, I want to see everyone tonight who's watching this, I want to see hashtag 6 feet of love trending on Twitter. So there you go. And I don't know, Nicholas will have a prize for you. The person who hashtags 6 feet of love the most will get something.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. And now someone else to talk about the 6 feet of love that is Nicholas Snow. What's your name?
My name is Atma Wiseman.
And how did you get to know Nicholas? And what is the importance of him and his legacy in your life?
Let's see. I knew him because I came from New Mexico. I came from Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I knew these women, Honey and Sandy, and they had done the experience, and I did the experience with them. And Nicholas had also done the experience, which was, do you know about the experience?
I do know the experience. I had a dear friend, Otis Charles, the first openly gay bishop in the Christian church. Today would have been his 96th birthday, and he talked a lot about the experience and how it impacted his life.
Very powerful. It was very powerful for me. I was in a relationship. I had been out for a long time, but I was in a relationship with someone that wasn't out and was afraid of losing custody of her child because of coming out. And the relationship ended because we just couldn't find simpatico anywhere. But the bottom line is that when I came here, Honey and Sandy, who were facilitators of the experience, said, you got to meet Nicholas. And so I found him on Facebook, and we got in touch, and we had a coffee, and we've been friends ever since. Just a connection that it's just one of those things. And when I first met him, I said, I'm changing your name. He said, to what? I said, Mr. Bond.
Mr. Bond, 007 Moneypenny, Mr. Bond. My name is James Bond. I assume that's the Bond you mean.
That is the Bond I mean. I even sent him a birthday cake one year that had a 007 logo on it, but a virtual birthday cake.
Well, I don't know if you know this, and I don't even know if Nicholas knows this, but 2022 is not only the 60th anniversary of Nicholas Snow's coming into the world, it is the 60th anniversary of the first Bond film. So, you know, if we could cue the 007 music, we would. Okay, yeah, thank you, Moneypenny. That's enough, yeah. Yeah, that was Moneypenny. Thank you, darling. Thank you, yeah. Thank you, Moneypenny. There's extra money, don't talk. What is the special sauce that makes Nicholas Snow so important, so not so important, so unique in the conversation that is about LGBTQ celebration?
Well, I think what's really important is the fact that in many cases, a lot of us are so blessed to live in a bubble where we're able to communicate, we're able to be who we are, we're able to be out, about our health, our feelings, the way we live, our economics, all of that stuff. And we're in a very big bubble here. We're very protected. But there are people in places that are very, very remote. And when they hear of somebody taking that step and being brave, people in Arkansas, people in Utah, people in Alaska,
Even people in California.
you know, Orange County, places that are not supportive, I think it's really important that you have somebody that's communicating about who we are in a realistic way, in a conscious way, in an awakened way. And that gives the opportunity to have those people have a voice and feel like they are not alone. So the magic that is Nicholas Snow is that he is a communicator and he's able to thread the bead so that it makes a full necklace where everybody can be connected.
Right. And that is so important that you mention that because, you know, as we do this here in beautiful Palm Springs, there are 36 countries around the world where it is still punishable by imprisonment or death to be openly LGBTQ. So this bubble we live in is privileged and we're here. There's a war going on in Ukraine. There's all kinds of injustice around the world. So, you know, we celebrate today very much aware of the injustices around the world. That visibility that Nicholas Snow has put out there is still so important. Any closing thoughts on Nicholas and your relationship with him?
I think that one of the key things that we don't realize as we age is that there is, and I can say that as I'm aging because I'm pushing towards.
Yeah, we're not going to, lady. No. Just you look fabulous, darling.
So I think that what's really important is bravery, and as we age, we become less concerned about what people think about what we're doing, and I think that as we move towards that time in our lives, we become more brave, and I'm just. I'm really hopeful about how brave Nicholas is actually going to become as he moves into that next phase of his life and that next phase of his capacity as a communicator, as a great communicator.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
You know, we have a full line here. I mean, it's like Taco Tuesdays or something. I mean, I've never seen so many people wanting to talk about someone. My name is David Eugene Perry. We're here at the incredible 849 Restaurant in the Design District of Palm Springs. Our host, Willie Ryan. Wonderful food and drink, and a lot of people here who just celebrate the life and legacy of Nicholas Snow. So, welcome, the two of you. Introduce yourselves and tell me how you all know Nicholas.
I'm Jan Alden, and I know Nicholas because he would continue to show up at the L Fund events, which is the lesbian organization in the Coachella Valley. And he just has been consistent and vibrant and supporting of lesbians, the L in the LGBT on and on community. And I just feel like it's wonderful to celebrate him today.
Well, thank you for saying that. My husband, Alfredo Cazus, and I last night were at a dear friend's 70th birthday party last night. I wouldn't say that, except she admitted to it. And there were a lot of lesbians there. We were one of only about 4 men there. We felt very honored. I said, we're official lesbians because we met, we moved in 2 weeks later, and we drive a Subaru. So, you know, so we are honorary members.
Move with the U-Haul?
Well, I mean, I don't want to confess too much, but yeah, there was moving involved. And your involvement?
Calvin Harris, and I met Nicholas through his involvement with the Black Brothers of the Desert.
And, you know, it's interesting. I moved to San Francisco, goodness gracious, in California 30-some years ago, and then came to Palm Springs. And being originally from Richmond, Virginia, my first response was, my Lord, where are all the Black people? I mean, how challenging is it being a minority within a minority here in Palm Springs and to have a white brother like Nicholas be part of your community? How significant is that?
I think that's important because when it's all over and done with, whether you're a lesbian, whether you're gay, whether you're any of the other initials, it's that thing about having the authentic individual appear and having that right to give whatever it is that you have to give it. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but be able to then have someone kick you in the butt and say, take that courage and take that leap.
So have you ever had Nicholas kick you in the butt? I'll go to you.
kick me in the butt.
You know, make it. Yeah, I mean, no. Let me put it another more delicate way. Now that I broadcast to millions of people, have you ever had something Nicholas did inspire you to go further in your work and your advocacy?
I would say just broadcasting what he does on a regular basis. And one of the things that inspired me is to support Nicholas in the work that he does to bring everyone's voice together. And the fact that he shows up on such a regular basis for all the events that happen. Nicholas, get over here. Let me give you a hug, because
Unscripted moment, yes.
Nicholas's work that keeps us all alive, that keeps having a voice for all of us. And it's his work that makes me feel like it's so important to support you as well.
Thank you so much. You know, I was off camera when you were asking her that question, and she's one of the people that's really on the cutting edge of making a difference. So she's someone I look up to. Everyone here, really, people I look up.
Okay, so I think we're like 3 seconds from watching him just like zhuzh all over the place here. You know, yeah, right. So we're gonna kind of go for the I'm losing it moment. Is there any?
15 more minutes for interviews, and we need to move them faster because the party has to end at 5 because they're having another party here at 6.
Okay.
We have a timeline. So you got 20 seconds to tell me a Nicholas Snow story about how he's inspired you.
She just did it, is that he is there. He is involved with supporting all of the groups that are in the Valley, that is saying that you have a unique voice and that we all have unique voices and that we all need to be heard, that there is not one way to live, that there are so many ways to live. And if you are a creative person, that this is important. And this is one of the things that I think that Nicholas does, is that he shows up to whatever that event is and says, I'm encouraging you to do what you do.
Here's to showing up. Thank you so much for being here today and celebrating Nicholas Snow. And I think we have some other people here who are going to talk about their experience of the Nicholas Snow story. Please step into the room. No one's watching, only several million people. And your name is?
My name is Paul Jasek. It's nice to see you, David.
Thank you. So, Paul, how did you meet Nicholas, and what is special about Nicholas that makes this gathering today so important and unique?
Well, we were very young children, actually.
Right in the cradle.
Almost. Well, I've known him at least 30 years. We were baby comics together. I was one of the first openly gay comics at the Comedy Store in '89. And it was not long after that I met him. And at the time, he was putting together his first cable show, Tinseltown's Queer. And so we have just bounced around together for, gosh, I can't even. He's what I call a back pocket friend.
Oh, let's move closer here. Back pocket friend. We're getting, okay,
There it is.
Now we're getting the stories in.
Because
and you're a comic, so I know there's good stuff coming.
Well, within that is that if I'm in trouble, I know I can call Nicholas, and vice versa. In fact, after my mother passed away, he was the first one to show up and take me to dinner and sit with me. So so we have a long and wonderful history. It's so fun to watch him evolve, and then with PromoHomo.TV, it's just. I tune in regularly. Not only am I a supporter, I love to watch him work. He's really quite marvelous.
So what is the connection here? You weren't expecting this one. What is the connection between stand-up comedy and gay activism?
Well, they're very close. Exactly. They are very close. That's I was told many times that I could, in fact, a fairly well-known comic now said, "You're making a mistake coming out like that. I work all over the nation." And he said, "But people think I have a girlfriend." I said, "No one thinks you have a girlfriend." You're delusional.
So people are laughing at you because you still think you're like.
And it was, you know, in '89, I was one of only about 3. Scott Silverman was there. Who else was Susan Westenhofer? People like that.
Oh my God! Hi, Scott Silverman. Remember? Hi. We had a stolen kiss before your new boyfriend, but that's another story.
Well, if you actually put everyone together, we've all slept with each other at least once.
At least once. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, with the evolution of society, and now with the gender fluidity, it's fascinating because that's where, at least when I'm working, I can bring all of that up without the fear of being slapped.
So tell me a Nicholas Snow story. You told me about him coming to you and comforting you after your mother died. Is there something that most people wouldn't know about Nicholas that maybe he'd be embarrassed to have you talk about? And just between us, no one else is going to hear.
I'm impressed with his strength. When he told me he was moving to Bangkok, I went, are you serious? What are you going to do? Just a bunch of, really. And because he's a good plotter. He's a good fact technician. So he said, everybody that I want to interview when they're in Los Angeles, I can't get to. So everybody that I want to interview, I can find in Bangkok. So, and we just kept, thank God for the internet.
So now, before you step off camera, shameless plug, are you still gigging? Can we see you online? Can we see you on stage?
You absolutely can. You can find me at pauljacek.com, and there'll be my schedule there. And I'm also an empathic tarot reader, so I can read your cards and your beads at the same time.
Girl, there you go. Read your and your beads at the same time. Take that, Mrs. Maisel. Okay, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks so much.
And we still have some other people here. Oh, okay.
This is like my brother from another mother. We've known each other since 1991, and I've learned that we don't have to rush out of here. We have plenty of time. I know everything about him, and I'm not allowed to tell. And he's very happy that I don't know anyone in his family because he doesn't want me to tell them. But no, really, I love this man. He's like a brother from another mother.
All right, good. So we will now get the dish out of him since Nicholas has retreated. So, brother from another mother. There's some deep dish there. How did you meet Nicholas, and what is special about him in your life?
First of all, we both went to high school in northern Arizona, and we didn't know that until we met each other in California. And we both lived in Phoenix before we moved to California. So yeah, we have some connections before we met. So 91 Cedars-Sinai Medical Center at the Sleep Disorder Center. And we met in 91, and then 92 was the LA protests. And so we were evacuating, and then 94, the earthquake. And the Schumann building was considered had to tear it down, so we moved to the VIP section of the main hospital at Cedars-Sinai.
So you've just been in all the Irwin Allen disaster films with the Nicholas Snow. I mean, sense around, right?
Correct. Yeah. And then afterwards, we had Christmas together a few times and things like that. So we really do. I do feel like family. He's my brother. Yeah. And I love him.
So, there was a time when, quote unquote, gay media was frowned upon. Oh, my God, it was considered dirty and bad. How important is Nicholas Snow's voice, not only to the LGBT community, but, in this time when anyone with an iPhone, anyone with a smartphone, anyone with an internet connection can be considered a media voice? How important is it to have voices like Nicholas Snow? And how important is it to have Nicholas Snow in our media landscape?
Huge. He's very respectful to the world and the way he presents himself. So it's not too outrageous. I think it's very appropriate. And he is a very important activity. We've talked about this. Would I change places with him? No, because the things that I know, he sacrificed for decades. He loved what he was doing and barely surviving. And that says a lot. Like, I can't do that. I'd rather have stability. But he was basically risking his life for his causes, financially and other ways too. Remember, you got Thailand, you got stuck there in a coup. Yeah, and I would talk to him on the phone. Was he in Thailand? I could hear gunfire in the background. I'm like, get out of there. So yeah, I know a lot about him, and we talk on the phone a lot. I'm busy, but we talk on the phone. We go to lunch and laugh. And again,
he's my big box office movie go-to person with, like the Star Wars and the Jurassic Park movies. When they show up, that's the ones that we will schedule to go. So he's very busy, devoted teacher, working all the time, and has a lot going on. So I love it when we schedule those big box office moments.
Yeah, he's definitely, he deserves way more than he's ever gotten, in my opinion, because, basically, he sacrificed his life for everything he's doing for pennies. And that's a lot.
Thank you so much. Well, now we have one more interview. No, put the mic down. No. We're going to talk to you. So now get over here. So hi, this is Nicholas is going to do something that he doesn't do much. He's going to like wait until someone asks him a question to talk. Yeah. So here we go. So Nicholas, we've known each other and known of each other for a long time. You want better light. God, she is a controlling queen. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Up light. Yeah. Okay. So Nicholas, I remember having you on my press list back in the 90s in San Francisco for Frontiers magazine, I believe. I want for those few people that don't watch PromoHomoTV to learn a little bit about your, I love this word, your provenance journalistically. How did you start? How did we get here to PromoHomoTV?
Well, I mentioned at the top of the broadcast that I was really inspired when I was in the 80s by people living and dying of HIV and AIDS. I was a communications major at ASU at the time, and I realized the power of communication. So I became what I referred to at the time, although I didn't have this label. Actually, I didn't have this label at the time, but my actions demonstrated at the time that I was a multimedia entertainment activist. And
is there an acronym to that, like MUMA, Mama, or something?
I'm sure you'll come up with one.
I'll figure it out.
Okay. So I moved to LA and I ended up being on staff for the first ever National Coming Out Day in 1988. I was on the board of directors for the Alliance for Gay and Lesbian Artists in the Entertainment Industry in 1990. And when I was working with them, I launched a column called Notes from Hollywood to examine and strengthen the relationship between the entertainment industry and what was referred to at the time as the gay rights movement, to thereby positively impact the movement itself. And that column was published as far away as Australia. And then I ended up in 1993, simultaneous to working 10 years at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, was producing a public access television show called Tinseltown's Queer, which I describe as a Queen's version of Larry King. If you're a certain age, you'll know what that means.
That's right. For all the Instagram influencers, we'll do a comment.
They won't know what that means. Anyone that's young. But at any rate, I also did a lot of freelance journalism for many publications, and I'm sure those are many of the reasons I ended up on your press list.
Well, all I can say is there are few people, and this is more praise for you than me, that have stayed on my press list for 30 some years. Because to stay on my press list means that you were active, you were engaged, you communicated. It didn't necessarily mean that you were saying nice things about my clients or our clients, but it meant that you were actively engaged in the media landscape. Talk to me a little bit about how the media landscape has changed, both quote unquote mainstream, whatever that means, and for the LGBTQ press since you first started putting pen or fingers to keypad.
Well, I remember, when our jaws would drop when there was positive representation of the LGBTQI plus community. We didn't even have the knowledge about intersectionalities to even have the wherewithal to really identify everyone in the way that we speak. It was the gay rights movement. And we would, jaws would drop when we would see any positive representation. And it was just so powerful to see ourselves reflected. And now there's so much representation of who we are everywhere. And also technology. I used to say when I started working with Matt Scala and Fabrice Descendo.
Here's a shout out to Matt Scala. I love gay everything. I love gay Matt.
Yeah, well, we started collaborating in the 1990s, and we were one of the first to do simultaneous television internet interaction. So we would set up a live laptop in my live public access broadcast, and we would take chats from the chat room that they were accessing through a modem and interact with people that were also watching on television. And one of the things I would say is when the internet started really developing is the internet is allowing us to jump homophobic Hollywood gridlock and go directly to a global audience that wants and needs entertainment product for and about their lives. And if you can't tell, I've said that before. It's like, that's my soundbite, and I've been using it forever. And now, we're now broadcasting at this moment on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and embedded at PromoHomo.TV using an iPhone and a wireless mic. So technology has really flattened the. It's made it more accessible for people to find a voice.
Yeah, I remember back in the early 1990s, I was one of the founding members of the NLGJA, the National Lesbian and Gay Journalist Association. The great late Roy Aarons, who at the time was the editor of the Oakland Tribune, was very upset because there had been a march on Washington for, I forget what it was, but it got front page Newsweek. And then a few weeks later, the March on Washington had, I think it was 1 million members of the LGBT community there, and it didn't get any press. And Roy came out and went to the editors who he knew and said, the only reason this isn't news is because of homophobia. And it was the first time that the mainstream news media went, you're right. 1 million people marching is news. How much have you seen the dynamic and the dialogue change as to what is news vis-a-vis the gay community? And what do you see your part in that is?
Well, you know, one of my goals is to inspire people to really live and express their truth. That's how you find happiness. And there's so many people that have been held back by fear. And so I think storytelling is more important. And of course, if you look in our current political landscape where so much is polarized, I think it's important for everyone with a voice to express whatever their truth is to as many people as possible. And I think that that's going to be news to someone. When someone tells their truth, it might be news to their brother or their sister or their family or their church or their school board or the person they fall in love with.
So we've only got a couple seconds left. Would you like to leave your viewing audience and your people here celebrating your entry? Well, no, I guess it's the end of your 6th decade and the entry into middle age, since we've decided you're going to live to be 120. So happy middle age. Any closing thoughts you'd like to leave your audience members with, or your people here celebrating your big birthday tomorrow?
Well, yes. Thank you for watching, and please, follow your dreams. Don't wait until tomorrow. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. And if you're living in a place in the world where it isn't safe for you to be who you are, look for the safe ways to communicate with people anywhere, whether it's through social media or something, to grasp the reality that it does get better. It can get better, and for many people, that is their experience. I would like to say that. But before I let you go, I'd like us to move up to the screen.
Yes.
So as we wrap up the broadcast, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to see who has commented, and we're going to go through comments. So Rock says, happy Soul Spark Day and Rainbow Hugs. Diana has said, happy birthday. Aaron Terry has said, happy birthday. Someone is identified as just a Facebook user. That's because they haven't given me permission to see their name. And they say it's just the 2nd anniversary of his 30th birthday. Rock is back. Nicholas Snow, every flake of snow is unique, but when connected, they blanket the world in beauty. That's what he meant when he referred to my name in his written tribute. Victor Yates, a wonderful writer, and he has a very popular YouTube channel. I could learn some things from him. Says, happy birthday, love. Lance actually was at the party, and he says, happy 60 years young. And Victor says that he wishes that he had been here. Helen Holden says, happy birthday. You light up so many lives, including mine. Grateful my blog brought us together, and fate kept us that way. Hugs, wish I was there. Thank you, Helen. Game Ducky says, happy birthday, Nicholas. I believe I know who that is. And Kelly Marie Marino says, happy birthday, Nicholas. You are an amazing person. Thank you for all you do for our community and beyond. I'm so happy to be a small part of your program, and honored to call you a friend. Here's to many more decades of wonderful projects. Much love to you.
Oh, and Victor Yates, boy, he's a super fan.
Yes, and he said it was a gorgeous cake. I'm really glad that the cake came out because I didn't grab the camera and do it.
I haven't gotten any yet.
Oh, it's delicious. There's more. There's plenty. I should
good.
give you
Okay.
some to take home too.
Perfect.
And Craig Prater, who was here, says great party. Kelly says you look absolutely fabulous. She was talking about everyone here. And Victor Yates says, I love 849, great food. Nicholas introduced me to that great restaurant. Damian, who is here, says happy birthday. Buzz, who is here, says what a wonderful celebration. So happy to be here. Aaron Terry, who goes by Elk Whistle, has been watching. Thank you. He says he love it. And Kelly Marie Marino is doing the
hashtag 6 feet of love.
I like that. And then I strutted in front of the camera when they made the reference to James Bond. And my friend from Thailand says, Suk San Wan Gerd Naka. And that actually is how you would say happy birthday in Thai if you were female. He isn't, but you know, it's like girl. Naka.
Yeah.
Sawadika, Francois, if you're still watching. And Game Ducky says, never got to go to Palm Springs, but I've enjoyed it vicariously over the years through Nicholas. And Aaron Terry gives a shout out to Paul Jasick and says, thank you, Nicholas. He read my tarot card and everything he said has happened. Namaste, he says to you.
I'm calling him for a consultation.
And John Barrist says happy birthday. He's a local member of our community and very supportive of me. And I'm always happy when my path crosses with him.
So let's, as we finish this, we've got a lot of people here. Oh, one more.
No, I don't have. I just have to finish there. I need to take that off the screen, and then I need to take the QR code off the screen so it's not in the way of my closing roll.
Now,
you were saying?
I was saying before we get to the closing roll, we've got a lot of people here who we're going to give one more shout out to Nicholas Snow. So we're not going to sing happy birthday again, but we're going to do as they do in the UK, hip hip hooray to Nicholas. Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
Hip hip say gay!
Hip hip say gay!
Gay, 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 gay. Say gay. Tell that to Ron DeSantis. Thank you all for watching. I love you. I'm going to go to the closing credit sequence now. And keep watching for more PromoHomo TV.